If you want to win money in DFS, you need to be able to find the best play per dollar. Here at the Buy Your Bingo Fantasy Network, we're always going to give you the best bang for your buck type of players. The first player we want to target is someone who has been handed a true bell cow role in Raheem Mostert at 7,400. The Panthers are giving up the second most DK points to opposing running backs. Now with Devin Achane out with an injury for the next few weeks, Mostert should have the bell cow role on that offense. Mostert was thrilling earlier in the season before Achane started becoming a thing, and now that it's just Mostert in the back while also playing this Panthers run defense, it should be a top-notch game in fantasy this week. I love me some Mostert at 7,400. The next player we want to target is that wide receiver who's starting to hit his stride in DJ Moore at 6,500. The Vikings are giving up the second most DK points to opposing wide receivers. Moore has had over 100 yards receiving in 3 of the last 4 games this season, and it's starting to look just like Fields is just hyper targeting this guy. With Moore's ability to take a 1-yard hitch route to the house, DJ Moore is a very dangerous, high ceiling play each and every week. This week he has a premier matchup where I can see some amazing fireworks happening. Do not leave him off your roster this week. Now we move on to someone who is really embracing his new team in DeAndre Swift at 6,100. The Jets are giving up the 9th most DK points to opposing running backs. Swift is averaging 18 carries a game in his last 4 games. Swift has completely taken the reins from Kenneth Gainwell, and he doesn't look to be giving them back. Even with Jalen Hurts doing his thing from the fantasy perspective, Swift is still a viable option at the running back position. At 6,100, I believe Swift is a steal this week against the Jets' run defense. Next, we're looking at a quarterback who is starting this week due to an injury to Anthony Richardson in Gardner Minshew at 5,000. The Jaguars are giving up the 6th most DK points to opposing quarterbacks. Minshew threw the ball 44 times in his last start just a few weeks ago against Baltimore. Now this week, he gets to go against his former team in the Jaguars. Can you say a revenge game? There's nothing more that Minshew could really want than to knock off the team who drafted him and then moved on from him once Trevor Lawrence was brought in to be the future. I just see this narrative playing out very well for Minshew, as you could see a solid fantasy outing, and you should be able to save some money on DK, especially if you pair Minshew with someone like Josh Downs. This would be actually a fun roster to play with. Lastly, let's talk about the tight end position, someone who's starting to leave his mark, and that's going to be Logan Thomas at 3,500. The Falcons are giving up the 2nd most DK points to opposing tight ends. Thomas had 11 targets last week and will be a part of a game plan that should be focused around Terry McLaurin and Logan Thomas. Thomas has shown the new starting quarterback Sam Howell that he can be trusted, and while Howell is still trying to prove that he belongs in the NFL, I'm sure that he's going to be targeting Thomas quite a bit in the coming weeks. If you're looking for a cheap tight end, get Logan Thomas in your lineup.